You are welcome to my channel, BDC Data Consult. BDC Data Consult is a platform where we seek to help you know how to use your data, to analyze your data, your company data, your personal data, to process your data and get actionable analysis for decision making using tools such as Excel, BI applications, and AI together. So our aim is to enable you to be able to mine your data, visualize your data, analyze your data in such a way that you can report and make informed decisions based on available data. In our last video, which were actually a series of videos that we started for beginners, we focus on beginners, where we assume that you are resuming in a workplace and you are using Excel for the first time, and you're going to be using Excel extensively, and you are practically zero or no knowledge of Excel. So we did a series of about 7 videos where we're able to get you through how to start in Excel and master Excel as a beginner to do your work in your office, so much so that you will be virtually independent and able to work with confidence and achieve results in reporting and in doing your work. Okay, so in that video, I promised that some of the modules or topics that we treated, that we are going to have subsequent videos that will give you specific focus on a particular topic, and then we'll dive deeper into more details. So in that promise, on note of that promise, I'm doing this one. This one we are going to be focusing on conditional formatting. I will not tell you that I'll be able to teach you everything about conditional formatting, but hopefully by the end of this video, you will have moved from a beginner to an intermediate to advanced users in Excel when it comes to conditional formatting. So here, let's go. Conditional formatting simply means that, okay, I want my data to be formatted in a particular way if this or one or more conditions are met, or one or more condition comes true. So basically, when you look at this font group, look at my cursor here, okay? You know, here you can format anything. Formatting, we know, is that allowing your data or text or whatever to appear in a certain way. So maybe you want your text to have color, you want it to be the cell to be filled with a regular color, you want to bold, you want to italize, you want borders, you want font type, and all of that. So everything that is here, okay, can be used in this font group, okay. And if you open this place, this Control Shift F, which is telling you this group, further to this group, there are things that are full of this. All these things you can number. You want to format anything that has to do with number. You want to do alignment. You want to format anything that has to do with font, border, fill, and all of that. So all these formatting options, you can write the formula, or you can use preset conditions that have been written in Excel, that when your data comes true or false for a certain condition, maybe both this thing, or put a line, or put a border, or put a certain color, okay? So that when that condition comes true, your data automatically adjusts to put that condition of that format into that condition. So you won't have to be doing it manually. So it becomes dynamic when your data changes. That is the essence of conditional formatting, and that will make you to be able to your data to be able to respond to change and be able to visualize your data in a clearer, dynamic, and better way. So if you open your Excel and from the home page, home ribbon here, you have this, you go to this condition place, this style group, you have conditional formatting. Can you see? This is conditional formatting. So if you look at this drop down, then you have options of what we are going to be teaching about conditional formatting. We have highlight cell rules, whereby you may have to highlight rules. Maybe you want numbers that are greater than certain amount. You want them to be colored a certain way, or want an icon to appear to it, or whatever. Numbers that are less than a certain way, maybe numbers or between a particular range, maybe number that is equal to a particular number, maybe text that contains a certain word, a certain character. Even dates can be formatted. Maybe dates that is, maybe we have invoices that are due for over 30 days or more. You can do it. You can also do duplicates. And then these are presets that you can just click and apply directly. But if you want more options, when you click on this place, then it gives you this new formatting rule dialog box where you can have options of formatting all your cells based on their values. Maybe on less than or equals to, maybe greater than or equals to, maybe based on averages or whatever. Can format only cells that contains a particular condition. In this place, all those presets are there, but it gives you room to be able to adjust this and customize it to your own specifics. That's the difference between this dialog uh, place and the preset condition. So we are going to go through all these places, especially this. Use a formula to determine which cell to format. This one is very, very important. So we are going to go into details of this. So, okay, I'm not doing anything now, so let me cancel it. So let's set the rule. Number one, when you are seeking to get everything under font group that I sell can be formatted, and based on the condition, if that condition comes true or false. Another thing you need to know as a rule of thumb that you must know is that whatever you seek to get is to evaluate your formula or condition if it comes true or false. What you seek to get is to evaluate your condition if it comes true or false. So whether you have a condition or a formula, and you want that if this formula or condition comes true, then format my cell or range of cell with this color or with this character or with this icon or with these bars. Okay, so then you apply conditional formatting when you select cells or table that you want to apply the format to. So if you want to apply, let me come here for instance. Okay, let's see this simple table. So if I want to format, this table is a table of sales, product sold, and sales amount, right? If it's only this column that I want to format, okay, when I want to go to my conditional formatting, I will make sure that I select only this column. All right. So because if I just put my hand there and go here and go and format, it will only format that cell. So you have to select, if you want to format the whole column, then you will have to choose the whole data set, except the header. Okay. But if it's only one column you want to format, then you choose that column. When it's only two columns you would use to format, you choose those two columns. And then you go to your preset conditional formatting, or your formula custom conditional formatting as it is. So that is what we are trying to say there. You must know that for simple true or false conditions, that is, if your conditions come true or false, you can use the if function, okay, which is a conditional function. You can use the operators like equals to, less than, greater than, okay, to custom format your data. So if you have multiple conditions that you want to apply, basically if maybe just one condition, okay, except you are using ifs, which is a compound function. So if you have more than one conditions, maybe two of the condition or more of the condition must come true before the condition the format will apply. Then you can use the add function. If you have a condition or several conditions that have an option that maybe if one of these several conditions come true, then you can also use the or function to write your formula to make your conditional formatting work. So let's start in full with example. What I'm going to do here, this is already formatted. What I've done here is formatted because if you come here, if I select, this is Sophie. If I select another person, let me select Cameron. You see what it is? It changed to Cameron just by selection. I didn't have to type anything. I didn't have to manually color it. So, this is a simple short data set. So what this thing is giving you is that if we have, let's say we have 1,000 or over 1,000 data set like this, and I want to look for Cameron, everywhere Cameron transaction occur, I want it to be colored. So I will now go one by one and be looking for Cameron and be coloring. No, if I do conditional formatting properly, everywhere Sophie is, it will format it. Everywhere Eric appear, it will be, you see, Eric appear two times. When I choose Eric here, automatically it formats. Now, let me show you. This one is not the starting point, but because this is formatting the whole row, right? So, but I will start with the most basic one, which will only format a particular column or cell at a time. Okay, so let's go there. So, come to conditional formatting here from home page. You come to conditional formatting. You say this clear rows because I've already written it, so I wish to clear it. You say clear row from, okay, I don't want to clear from the because I still have others there. So let me say clear row. So I select this. And remember what I told you, that whatever you want to format, you have to select that or everything that you want to format. So I say I come to this place, clear row from selected cells. I don't want to clear from all the sheets because I still need to teach some things there. Otherwise, I would have just gone ahead and clear straight. So I say clear from selected cell. So I clear it. You know, it's plain now. Now, let's say this is a data presented to you as a company director. You have some marketer that are reporting to you. These are the product they sold, this is the amount they sold. So, and you have several like that, like I said, and you want to say, okay, what did the Eric sold? How many times did the Eric sell? And what are the items that Eric sell, for example? So this is salesperson, this is product sold. Okay, product sold, you still have a drop down. You know, this drop down is done by data validation. Okay, if you want a video on data validation, I will do a video on data validation as well, so you can know how to set up this drop down list, which you don't have to be typing manually. You just pick and it will work, all right? So that you can get from data here, and then you come to this place, you see data validation. Can you see drop down arrow, this data validation? We have these other options, but this one will set up a data validation process for you. I'm not teaching this now, I'm just showing you. So check my video for that as well. So let's continue. So now I want to format, let's say I want this, this column, which showing us the sales reps. So, and I want to format it. So what I just do, let's just go to conditional formatting. Okay, come to home page, conditional formatting. I like sales rule. Maybe what do we use now? I don't want to try using conditions for already. Okay, let's start with this. Okay, we want to format these values. Let's say value that is greater than 6,000. So we come here and say data, oh sorry, home, conditional formatting. Okay, let's say greater than. Okay, say what value is greater than, let's say 6,000. Just make it simple. 1, 2, 3. So you can see even before I did it, it's already highlighting it. Then I can come here. This is a preset color. Okay, I can come here and select my color. So I like yellow. Let me put yellow. That's light yellow. I want really yellow. Okay, let's come to custom format here. So I can select the fill. I can select the common yellow. You can see this. You say okay. Say okay. You can see. So when you look at the data set now, everything that is greater than 6,000 is what is formatted. Can you see? So that is conditional formatting. Now, best way to do this is to make it dynamic by writing a formula. Now, how do you write the formula? So this place I wrote, you may not understand this, but I will explain. Remember, I've taught you, and this is another place where cell referencing is very, very important. In the last video, in the first video series that I told you I did, I've done a video on cell referencing. So go and look at that video and watch it so that you can understand cell referencing very well. So here I say ordinarily, I would just go directly to the conditional formatting dialog box and write the formula and it will work. But as a starter, I want you to always do this so that you will see whether your formula is correct or not before you copy it or write it and try to apply it. Okay. So what we did exactly here, if I double click on it, you see that it is referencing. This is the column I want to format. Okay, I want to format Eric, Sophie, and the rest of the sales rep, right? So my data is saying C7, which is C7. And when you see the C7, you see dollar on C, meaning that C is permanent. If I copy this value, this formula, it will not move from column C. It will stay in column C. But when you see 7, which number 7, row 7, row will move because I didn't put any dollar there, right? So the row will move down. So if I copy it down to cell 8, it will get to C8, but C9, C10, right? Now, so I now reference there, look at this saying in this cell, okay, look at this Eric, whoever is here, look at him in this G5, right? So G4 rather. So you see that G4, I put uh, double dollars, meaning that this is a fixed reference. So fixed reference means that it will always look at, because it's where my drop down is. So it will always look at G4, irrespective of where I copy the data to. It will always look at G4 to look at who am I interested in. Are you getting it? So now, for me to know that this formula is correct and is working, what will I do? I will now copy this formula. What I did was, after creating this formula, right? When I show you how I created it, let's say equals to, I say this, eh, supposing is equal to this, right? But before I do that, let me just apply. It's always easier to come to the uh, formula cell, okay, to select. You think I've selected it. I press what? F4 for cell referencing. You see that you press F4 directly depending on your computer, or you press FN F4 to activate the FF function. I've taught that already. You can see double dollars, meaning fixed reference. I don't want to fix that. I want to fix the column, not the row. So I toggle, I press the F4 key again until that is achieved. This is allowing the column to move but fix the row. What do I want? I want to fix the column and want the row to move. So I press the F4 again. You can see I got that. So I'm saying if this equals to Sophie or anybody that appears here. So I fix that one, FN, F4, give me double dollar, means fixed cell reference. I press enter. You can see. So you can see that if I reference this place, who is there? Eric, not what? Sophie, right? If I come here before I finish the formula, if I type Eric here, you will see that, okay, it will come true. Can you see now? Because it is Eric that is seeing here now, right? So what I'll now do is that I will now look at the pattern of my table. Okay, I want to format the whole table, right? I want to format the whole table except the header so that it will be choosing it by row, all right? So I will now look, okay, in this my table, I have all my range. I have three columns, one, two, three. And I have one, two, three, four, five, six. Oh, cells. So I will try to copy this formula in just a way. You remember the shortcut I taught you? I want to copy to the right, one, two, making three. That's I press Control R. That's copying to the right. Then I can select down with Shift down arrow. I get there. I press Control D. Right? Copy to the left. You will see that everywhere I have Eric now, everything will come true. You can see here, true Eric. Can you see? If every other place, the thing comes false. So that means that this formula is correct. What you now do is copy this formula. When you want to copy this formula, if I copy, I just say Control C, and I want to go and paste it in the formula on the conditional formatting, it will not. So the best bet for you is to come here and select it in this edit mode. This is what we call edit mode. Remember to select the equals to as well. So I copy. So when you copy, you now say escape. Now come to conditional formatting, okay, and come to new rules. You see? So under this new rule, I come to use a formula to determine which cells to format. So I come here, I paste that formula, Control V. Can you see? I paste the formula, I come here, format. So like I told you, I can decide to format and just the font. I can decide to use border and I say when this condition comes to change this border to a particular border type and all of that. But I'm not interested in that. What I do for now is fill. So okay, when this condition comes through, fill the data with what? Yellow. Okay. But remember before, I needed to have done something before this. Remember I formatted this before. Okay, just like one cell at a time. So I needed to clear that format before I do that. So let me go back and clear that format and then we can do that. Come here, clear this format. Okay, so now I come here, I copy the formula in edit mode, I copy and I say escape. And then you remember, after I copy, before I go to that place, you select the whole table or range that you want to format, right? Then come to conditional formatting, come to new rules, and use a formula, and then type co copy your formula down here onto V. You see now? So let's apply what you want to apply. The fill color, which I'm using yellow. I say okay. Immediately I press OK. When that thing has applied, you will see the preview here. If this is not applying, it's showing these are text values. Okay, this is what I want to do. If you are not seeing this thing, that means that that formula has not applied. All right. So now I can see it is applied. I say OK. You see, voila, the miracle comes in place. Can you see? That's good. So now, if it's you are an employee, for instance, let's say employee Wendy, I want to see his record. I break it. You see, it goes to Wendy and light Wendy for me. Maybe it's even a product. And supposing these are products, right? I want to see this particular product. I press it, I see everybody that has sold that product and all of that. So this is how to apply formula in conditional formatting. Just an introduction. I still have more to do. Now, let's move on to, so this one now is different from what I did the first one. The first one I did was you only format a particular cell or set of cells that meets the condition. But this one you format um, the whole range or the whole row, right? Okay. I also take you to a place where can format instead of rows, you can format the whole column. All right. So let's go on. So the next one that we have here is, in this case, we only meet one condition. Let's now look at the case where we need to meet two conditions. We need to meet two conditions. In this case, I've written the formula here. Remember, I told you if you have more than two conditions, you can use the hand function. If you have options, two or more conditions with more options, that one of them must come true, then you can use the or function. So let's look at this same data set. All right. So what did I write here? Look at the AND logic function equals to AND. And when I say and, okay, what does it give me? The argument in and say logic one, logic two, as many logic as possible, meaning as many conditions as possible. When you use and, it means that even when we're learning English in secondary school, you remember when you use and, they sort of call it conjunction, right? I've forgotten the name of the conjunction they call it. It means that the two or more options, all of them must be present before that thing will apply, right? Unlike all, which means that maybe one or more conditions will be present. But in and all the conditions must be present. So, but you can set more than two conditions. This is one, two, dot, 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 dot shows that you can set more than two conditions, as many as you can. So I want you to understand that logic test and before I write the formula. Escape. So I come here and say essentially, what am I saying before I clear the formatting and write it? I'm saying, okay, here, let's pick two things. Now, we want to see a particular sales rep and a particular product. Two conditions must be met. The sales rep, this particular sales rep, what product did he sell? So two conditions must be met. So that's why you use the AND function here. And when you look at it, I just simply say AND logic one. If you want to break down the formula, you can come to the formula bar here and click on each one, or come here and be doing it one by one. Yeah. So it's telling you this is the first condition. And that condition comes what? False. What is that condition? The condition is saying take case 7. Case 7 is where? That is Eric here. Abi? And case 7, remember, the K7 is allowed to move to 8, 9, 10, where we fix column K, right? So that we can copy down, right? And then let's see if let's see if K is equal to what? Is equal to who is here? The sales rep here, right? When K is equal to the sales rep, that's the first condition. You put semicolon. Semicolon will give you some versions of Excel will just put comma. This new version 365 is giving you semicolon. So that semicolon allow you to put the second condition. So after the semicolon, I go to the logic 2. So if I press logic 2 now, you see it highlights that. So logic 2 say, okay, what other condition 2 do we want to fulfill? Okay, let L7, which is still Eric, right? Okay, and let's see if the product in Eric, okay, not Eric now. L7 is the product sold, right? Let's the product sold. Is it equal to the product I pick here, right? If it's equal to it, fine. Say true. If it's not equal to it, say false. All right. So that is what the formula is saying. Should I write it? I have a long way to go, but let me try to write it for you. Subsequently, I will not be writing much of the formula again. I believe you should have gone through it and know what to do. I just pick up the formula and do it. So I say it, delete. I write it for you to see. Okay, equals to, what do I want? I say this guy, eh, is he equal to, remember, before I do it to make it simple, okay, I reference it, okay. So this guy, copying it down, is he equals to this guy that I have here? Fix this guy because I always reference that place, comma. That is the first logic fulfill. Okay, I've not written the and function before that, so don't worry. So there's something I needed to do. You say and, hmm, so and so logic one. So this is my logic one now. So after logic one, you can see it's still highlighting logic one. I put semicolon. Can you see it moved down to logic two? This is how you use function in Excel. These are the arguments, what you call arguments, right? So when an argument has this square bracket, it means it's an option. You can see the first logic test is not an option. So it can take one condition, but other condition must be optional. Can they have more than one conditions? That's what it's meaning. It's optional. So next one is a logic two. What's my logic two? I still want, okay, what do I want in logic two? I want this product, okay, okay, is it equal to is it equal to the product I choose here, right? I fix this as well, right? So if it's two, come true. If it's not, so you can see currently, let me choose a product. I choose phone. So currently, Sophie, if you look at the Sophie cell phone, Sophie phone, okay, same first. So let's copy, let's switch and see. Control Control D, okay. It comes to here. You can see in this first one, okay, which is Eric. It's first for Eric because Eric does not sell phone, right? But when we came to Sophie, you can see that Sophie sells what? Phone, right? And that's why it's picking Sophie true. When it comes to here, there's no other place that Sophie is true. Now, remember, I've written this formula and I've checked it that it comes true for Sophie here, right? So if I want to populate it, supposing, remember that I've formatted this, though, let me remove the formatting, clear rules, you remember, new rules, set clear rules from selected cell. So this is what I have, right? And I've written the formula for you, okay? And this is the formula. So what do? I copy this formula. Sorry. I copy the formula. Okay, I say escape. Then, since I want to apply it to the whole range, I select the whole range. I come back to conditional formatting. I set new rules, use formula, paste the formula, Control V. Can you see? It's pasted. So I come here, fill color. It's already on fill tab. So I put my color. I say OK. You can see it responded. I say OK. And then, so presently, I have Sophie and phone. It didn't work. What happened? Some error there. Some error there. Okay, on Eric, yes. If you have Sophie and phone, you should highlight it. You should highlight it. Let me clear the rule and do it again. Sorry. Okay. So I copy the formula again. Copy. Okay, better still copy in the edit mode here. I was not sure where that thing was copying. Copy. Okay, I'm sure I'm copied now. Okay. Remember, after copying, okay, that's why I said you have to escape. If you don't escape, it will be selecting any cell you click on. So let's put it copy. After copy, I say escape. So I come here, select the whole range, conditional formatting. Okay, we come to new rules. Okay, use the formula. I copy the formula down here. Okay, I choose my format option. Right, yellow. Can choose your own color. Come here and say, okay, voila. You see, Sophie comes through because Sophie sold phone, and there's no other place here that Sophie sold phone. Let's check this for Sophie again. Let's say, does this say printer? Yes, it sold printer as well. Let's come here and say, who sold printer? Cameron sold printer. Yes, Cameron sold printer. Can you see? Now, let me tell you for a fact. After you have done your formatting like this is no longer necessary. You can delete this and the formula is still working. Pretty good. So come here, for instance, and say tablet. Who sold tablet? Cameron did not sold tablet. Let's see whether Sophie sold tablet. Sophie did not sold tablet. Let's see, I'm showing Eric. Eric sold tablet. Can you see? Tablet is highlighted, right? So that's how to use the AND function to go double condition formatting. All right. So let's also go to, let's check the OR function. When two or more conditions, one or two conditions must be met. Okay. So first thing again, I'll show you the syntax of the OR function equals to OR. So OR is saying this condition, the first condition must be true. The second condition may be true. Third condition may be true. At least one condition must be true. All right. So what I've done here, now you know how I copy all of this. So I'm going to delete for now. Okay. Let's just not delete because I've shown you already. So I'll just show you how I did this. So when you look at this formula now, it looks complex, but I will not rewrite it because I've been writing the first, so I don't have time. But I will go through it one by one as we have been doing before. So what are we saying here? What's this formula saying? Logic one. What is logic one saying? It's saying, look at what is it referencing? Okay, we are interested in L24. Who is L24? Okay, the product sold, right? So in this list here, under product, you have phone, you have tablet, you have the rest, okay? In this list four, okay, list laptop, is it one of these thing that is here, right? If it is, it comes true. If it's not, it doesn't come true, okay? If this comes true, or so this function I choose here, this product, okay, laptop, is he in this list? Or this product, logic 2, or this same laptop, is he on the second, which of this list is he? Is he on this second list? Or this laptop, eh? This same laptop, is he on this third list? That is what the formula is saying. So, okay. The problem was I created a drop-down list here. So sorry for that. And unfortunately, I've forgotten myself. I deleted it. So I need to recreate it now. So I'm going to delete the drop-down list here and change it again. And remember the other time I tried to introduce you to data validation. Okay, this is data validation, data validation. I clear. Okay, let's see what I do. Goes to unique. Unique, what I want to do is to duplicate this. I mean, remove the duplicate from this so that I can have a list. So duplicate invoices. So one of the, in fact, this is the first thing most people apply conditional formatting for when you want to highlight duplicates. For instance, this is a customer that is buying products from a company, and you have a SOA created in Excel for that customer. SOA simply means statement of account. So if the customer buy goods, you invoice the customer. If he pays money, you put the amount here. Let's say 5 million naira here, for instance. One, two, three, two, three. Okay, and then the balance is what is left. So you, as a company, when you are issuing invoice, this is invoice number. You must, on no account must you must you use the same number, invoice number twice, right? Because you are selling to different customers and you are going to track payments and your sales by the invoice number. So you don't duplicate invoice number. So what can you do here? What you do is that the kind of thing you put a conditional formatting on this column so that after anytime you enter a new data, if that invoice number has been used before, it will quickly flag it as double, right? It will know that, oh, you can't use this invoice number before because somebody, it has been used for a particular customer. So you go and trace the history of that customer and see what happened there so that you will not be duplicating invoices. You see, that's a practical application. So what do I just need to come do here? I've select the thing I want to check duplicate. I come to this place, conditional formatting. Okay, it say what? I like sales rule duplicate. So I say what color? Red, that's red. Let's choose yellow. Okay. If like I like choosing yellow, I say okay. All right. You can see that nothing is appearing. Now, if on the same day, okay, or a different day later, let's say this is 15, okay, of 2004, then the customer bought an item again and I issue invoice 114506. See what happened. Enter. Immediately it colors it, right? And it flags it here. So you know that this invoice has been entered before. All right. So maybe you are giving a job that you are the one keeping the customer sales account, that is SOA, and you have to be entering all the invoices they bring to you. And maybe at the point when they are issuing the invoices, they have duplicated invoices. You, your system will easily flag it. And you go back there and say, this invoice that you have issued it before for this same customer or for another customer. So kindly check your system and change it. So that by the time you you send this statement of account to your customer, there will be no duplication, or you will not be assigned an invoice number that is not his own. Do you get it? That's practical example. Another example you can use for duplicate in this case is that you have an SOA, you have an aging report. So this is customer or different times you issue invoice to them and you give them conditions for payment that okay, oh, this payment must be done. See what I have here today. Today means it's a dynamic function. Okay. If I put today, this date will continue to change. This was not the date when I prepared this data. This was not the date that was there. But because I'm using the function today, so it will change to today's date. So, okay, I give a customer payment terms. Look at it, 30 days. That means any invoice that is above 30 days, flag it for me. Huh? So that's conditional formatting. You can see due date 54, 35, all right, 33, they have been flagged. So, and if I sum that, and if I sum that, you will find out that the total sum that is due, right? You see, equals to 52,403,000. Okay, out of how much is he owing me? He's owing me 180,799 on his total account. Okay, but presently, what he needs to pay me I will not be pursuing him for 118 million. I will only pursue him for those invoices that are beyond, that are 30 days and beyond, right? And when you see what is there, that what is there, 5240. Okay, I don't think this one 52. Okay, 33 is beyond. Okay, I should have chosen this with it. Okay, let's go up. You see, this is 56,541, 770, and that's what you have, 56,541, 770. Just for you to test it. This is a formula. Okay, I'm just using it to test it that it agrees with this. So, two ways to have done it. We wrote a formula. Okay, that pick up eh, this, any invoice that is more than 30 days, and sum it up. You get it? So that's what this formula is saying. And we now we now copy that same formula. We copied it to a conditional formatting, and we use it here. When that is done, just any invoice has more than 30 days. Here, do what? Flag it with this color for us. So let me remove this. Well, let me show you what this formula is saying. This formula is saying, this is compound sum. Some ifs. You have if more than one if conditions. Sum the column D with condition that column F, eh, share my screen. All right. Okay. So what I'm saying, I now selected this column, right? And I go to conditional formatting. So okay, top or bottom. Let's say above average, top 10. No, I don't want that. I want greater than, less than, or more option. We can write greater than or equals to. Maybe let's use the custom aspect. If I say greater than, I can specifically put it there. Greater than, I say greater than 30. Okay, but I will have wanted greater than or equals to, but let's pick 39. So let's say greater than 29. Okay, so it will include 30, and say, okay, we are using this color to format it. Okay, let's go back to my yellow. Okay, and say, okay, okay, well, okay, let's remove it. I want the proper yellow so that we can see it very well. Go back to conditional formatting. Sorry, I like rule greater than this. So I come here, I say greater than 29, right? And I come here, I choose my color, custom color. Okay, I choose this. You say okay. You say okay. You see? So it formats it. Free color. No, I don't want free color. I want custom color. Yeah, and this time, I've been using free color. What I want is what? Font color, right? So what color do I want? Color, I say yellow, right? Yellow will not be too prominent. Let's choose this color. Okay. You say, okay, you can see it's showing it. Which other color do you like? Let's do this color. It's showing it. Okay, let's say okay. So it formatted. You can say okay. Okay. So okay, we have two layers now. The yellow was not removed as well. Let's leave it like that. Okay. You can see now every invoice that is greater than what? That is greater than 29 is what? Is being formatted. And when you look at it, it ends here. which agrees with the total of our formula, which is what? 56,501. 56,501. You can see that is how to apply duplicate conditional formatting. This case I've shown you is very common with Excel. Maybe you are a receivable manager in your company or not, but you can think of it wherever way it applies in your own case, you can use it. Okay, so just be dynamic, be able to think around what you are doing and say, this thing I want to do, this kind of conditional formatting should be able to apply. So that is how to use duplicate. Now let's go to top end value. So maybe you have your sales rep again. You want to look at sales reps that has more than a particular amount. Okay, or maybe the sales rep, top three sales reps, top five sales, top 10, top maybe bottom three, and all of that. So we want to format based on that. So which is what I've done here. Let's see what we have here again. This saying, look at this formula and say C7 Eric is he equals to Eric, which is what you have done. Yeah, this I've done before. I don't need that. Let's come here. Okay, let's look at this formula. Right. We are saying, okay, the sales that we have here in column M, okay, row 7, this sale, is it greater than 7,415? If it's greater than 7,415, highlight the whole of this table, right? So everybody that is greater than that, you will highlight them, right? Top 2. If you say top 3, okay, this table, the way I, so is the one that is selecting this. Okay, this is the formula. This is one that is selecting it. I want to see top 3 sales. Okay, it will highlight this. I want to see top 4, the first sales, the highest sales, it highlights it. I want to see the first 4 sales. Supposing we have millions of rows like this, it will highlight it dynamically. All right. So how do we write this formula? This is the formula. This is the formula. Okay. The formula is saying large. What is large saying? Large says look at an array. Okay, let's come here. It's better here. Large says look at this array. Look at this table. Okay. In this table, right? Tell me the the largest 4 values. Okay. Tell me the largest 4 value. 04. Abi? 04. 04 is there. Tell me the largest 4 value. Okay? That is what this formula is saying. In this array, okay, tell me the largest 4 value. Okay. In this array, the whole of this is what the array is, right? In this array, this is column here, meaning that it's selecting the whole of this range. That's why when you click like this, it gives you the whole of. So in lieu of this array, okay, tell me the largest 4 values. Tell me the largest n value. All right, and so if I say tell me the largest 3 value, you see, the largest third value is what? 6270. If you look at this, the largest third value is 6270. Instead of using the largest, you can use the smallest. Just change this to small, right? So let me undo the formatting here and let's reapply it. Okay, so what you are saying is you write this formula, top n value. This is your n value. Okay, you change this as you wish, type on guideline. So this is where you write your formula. Let's see what the formula is referencing. I say large. So two things were done. Two things were done. So after you wrote that, you now say, okay, look at this value. When you have the large value, return it here. So M7, M7, okay, is it equal to what? M7, right? Is it equal to the result that this large formula returns here? If it's equals to it, then write true. If it's not equal to it, write false. Right? So that is what you now use. Is this is not the formula that you use to format. Hmm? So what you are going to use to format is this formula. But for you to use this formula, you need to establish this condition. This condition helps you to see, okay, get me the largest third value, the second largest top value, the third largest value. You get it? So, and then if I get that, look at my table, look at the sales value. When you go look at this sales value, is it equal to, okay, the top n that this formula here return? If it's equal to it, format the whole of this row, right? That's what the formula is saying. So you are writing two formula, and you will know the one that you're going to use to do your formatting. So you can see that here 6,270 is returned. I mean, for the top three. If I say the top four, okay, the top four, 5,610 is the next four. So for 9,000 is the first one, 7,004 is the second one, 6,270 is the third one. And of course, the fourth is what? 5,610. So when I get to the top four, eh, tell me if the return, the value in this top n, anywhere it is here, format it with color yellow, right? So that is why that. So anytime the result that is returned here, okay, look at it in this place and format it for me. I hope you get the logic. So it's very simple. This one is just saying when you see here, what is here, when it's equal to what is here, format this for me. All right, good. So I copy that. Remember, I want to copy. We copy in the in this mode. So copy. You say escape. That's the edit mode, and then you go to your conditional formatting, and you go to new rules, and then you say use formula, and then you come here. You say okay. You choose. Let's choose our traditional fee color. uh, Choose our traditional yellow. You can do your own choice. You can see it's highlighted and it's true. So when, oh, I missed one thing. I didn't select the whole range. I was selecting this. Okay, let's redo it. Okay, no problem. Let me make sure that I clear this rule again. Okay, so I made that mistake. I'm sorry. So copy this, copy, escape, and select this, right? And so conditional formatting. New rules. Use a formula. Okay. Okay. You see? Voila. So when this value is top four, I mean, it highlights it, highlights 7, highlights 6, highlights 9. See, these are the top four sets. Okay, top three sets, two sets. You see, automatically highlighting like that. So that's how to use the top n formula, custom format. Okay, custom conditional formatting, if anything like that. So due date, I've done due date, I've done top n, I've done duplicate, I've done condition for a or and function. Let's go on. Let's look at data bars. Okay, data bars. When you come here, okay, conditional formatting, preset function, you see this calls data bars. So with these data bars, what it's doing is that as your data get bigger in size, it will format it with a preset bar. Maybe what do you call it now? Uh, bar, bar in statistics, right? Okay, whether histogram or bar chart, okay, or pie chart, bar charts, okay. So it will format you with a bar chart, okay, which will be dependent on the value, right? You can have gradient. When you see gradient, you know what gradient mean? It means it will be showing the color graying out as the value decreases or increases. But if you have solid fill, which I did here, it will just format everything with a particular color you choose. Okay, you are on database, right? So, and you can customize it as well. You can choose preset option, or you can go to custom and choose more options the way you want to do your own. So what do I have here, for instance? What I have here is that you have these grades of scores. There are students in your class, maybe students, maybe you can name the student 1, 2, 3 for purpose of time. I didn't do that. I'm just interested in the grade. But you could put the name of students there, for instance. And these are what they score in a particular exam. Okay. And you want to look as a teacher, you want to analyze uh, how much of your people, of your students that score above 40% or less than 40%, how much have scored between 40. Maybe this one you assign fail, maybe you assign pass here. Between this, you assign C. That's what we used to do when we were writing our own work. Maybe from this to this, you apply D. Okay. When you get to this, you apply C. Somebody that got between 60 and lesser than 70, you apply B. And somebody that got more than 70, you apply what? You apply an A distinction. That's the kind of grade we have when we were doing our own accounts. I mean, our own WAEC. But the grade structure is different now. So I just use this one that I remember. So, definitely, what are you looking at? You are looking at, so I need to write a formula to the frequency of, in this data set of grades, how many of them are less than or equals to 40? How many people score less than or equals to 40 marks? So that is what this count if is doing. Count this criteria column. Okay, you listed all those numbers inside this place. That's what is listed there. Okay, the range criteria one. What's the first criteria? And we're using one other criteria. If any of these data sets is less than or equals to what? 40. Escape. That's why you can't them play 8. Yeah? So if you have anybody between 40 and 45, let's see this. So look at this range. Okay, is anybody here criteria one that is greater than, you remember before we said less than 40. So the next thing must capture 40. That's why we have greater than or equals to. So is anyone here greater than or equals to 40? Criteria 1. Okay. So criteria range again, criteria range, which is this same thing. What is the criteria 2? Criteria 2 is less than or equals to 45. So that allows you to move between 40 what and 45, not greater than 45, but greater than 40. So that is what this condition, it picks up. So 45 to 50, it picks it up. 50 to 60, it picks it up like that. Okay. 60 to 70, it picks it up. So less than 70, that will give you a B, right? So when you now want to get to 70 and above, what you just simply write? You just simply write, is this data set, oh, this is not good enough, it's not correct, it should go to this. Okay, I was lucky if it was. Is this data set, this range, is anywhere is greater than 70? Okay, tell me how many people are there. 70. So when you have everything together, it gives me 30. And definitely, if I see this old data, maybe I had how many students? Can you see? 30 students. Can you see that? So good. This is the analysis of this data. Then how do we now apply the bar to it? Now, what I do, let me remove the formatting here and give you the logic and the magic. Okay. Okay, go remember clear rules. I say clear rules from this. Okay, so what I did was this. Number one problem is that I will, because I don't want to format, I can do the formatting directly on this data's frequency, right? But I want the bar to be separated from the number. So what I simply do is be smart. Let's say duplicate, so that if this changes, this will change automatically. You see, that is the purpose of that, right? So, and now I format my data set on this. So I select this data bar. Oh, sorry, cancel. So I select this, and then I go to conditional formatting, data bars. Okay, and I choose. But I wanted to choose so that I can choose my color. I could choose any of this. You can see it's there, right? I could choose any of this. Let me choose this. I think this is good enough. Even that preset is good enough. So voila. Now there's something you can do. In this case, the value is still showing. You know, the value is showing here already, and the value is still showing there. I don't want the value to show here. Look at what I will do. Look at this. This is very interesting. Go back to that conditional formatting. You know, it has applied a preset format, but that preset format can still be adjusted with this guy, manage rules. Hmm? This guy. So anything, whether it's a preset formula or the formula you wrote yourself to do a conditional formatting, when you come here, that rule has been written at the back door. You can come here and go and adjust it to what you want. So this is the rule that is using now. So what do I want to do? I want to say edit rule. So when I say edit rule, so I can choose options of what I wanted. I can change the color. Let's say I change the color to this, right? Okay. I can change, I say it picks the minimum automatically, pick the maximum automatically. I can pick what I want. And if I'm dealing with what data set is the number I'm dealing with, I could have been dealing with percentage. I will have to change it there. Okay, but this one recognizes, since I've selected that one, it recognizes it, it does it by itself. But if you want to adjust, just saying you can adjust by itself, right? That is it. But what I want here, look at it, it says show bar only. So what do? You just see this show bar only. So just click on this button. So it will mean that the data set here will not be shown. You will only see the data in the bar. So I say okay. I click okay. Apply, right? Oh, what happened to my system? Apply. Click okay. Voila. What is there? You get it. And you have your data formatted. So whatever happened, It says, I could decide to extend this to anything. I would like to change anything there. Next time, I can use this thing all again. Maybe this is physics, and this is how my students stack up. So I can see that, okay, oh, how many guys has A? This. Okay. How many guys failed? This. Oh, so it gives me a visual. It depends on your data. So you are able to see it clearly. So and if anything change here, definitely it will come here to change. Remember how to use this formula that I've written here. Count if you are counting. If it is sum, if you say data you have to add, you just use sum ifs and you state your condition. And you are okay. So now let me clear this again. I need to do something. I want to clear this again. I use the preset. I want to use the one that I am the one that will choose. Okay, I come here, go back, clear rules. Okay, so I go back, I say data bus. I want more rules. So do I say two color? I can use two color bar. I can use three color bar. I can use icon sets. We are going to get to that. But I'm just using data bar. Okay. And then I choose my color. I've done that already. I wanted a case where, okay, it's not getting that. I wanted a case whereby I can decide to magnify this so that if the data is small and the bar is not showing well, I can magnify that. You know what I can do? I just come here, for instance, I want to enlarge, supposing your data is small in value, right? And I want to enlarge it. Okay, I could have just say, let's say, yeah, I'll just multiply this, maybe multiply it by 5, okay, just to expand that. You can see it expanded, right? It's longer, right? And I will just come back, go back to this, manage rules, edit rule, and so this, and say okay, and say apply, and say okay. You see? So what I've done there is this multiply by 5 is not having anything effect on this. It's not used for you to apply this, okay? It's just helping you to make this data bar bigger, longer, so that you can see the effect clearly, the graphic effect clearly. So what I can now do is I just come here and do some good formatting, from manual formatting. So I can just come here and do some manual formatting. What do I want to do? I don't want anybody here. What do I want to do? I can come here. You see, I told you that in this font group, you can do all sort of your formatting there, right? If I click here now, so I go to border. So this border, maybe I want double border or thick border. Let's see what we can have. Let's pick this one. Okay. I want it only at the bottom, right? I put there at the bottom. I say, okay, you can use this. If you want it by the side, you can hide it. If you don't want something, you click it back again. Okay. So, and it's for the outline view. Okay. I can change to inside view to do it in inside, right? So I did this place out. Okay. It's back. So I don't need meeting chat. Which one is missing chat? I'm not in chat. So let's select from here. I just select this, remember, and then I select this. Say okay, check that out. Okay, so I decide to do that. I can decide to format this one. Just come to here, maybe the border. Okay, that's a fanciful thing to do. Right, you have this. You have your data set. Okay, you have this. I could have done that. Yeah, I could have done that. Maybe line color. This is the same thing was to apply here. More borders have to come here and apply that again. Voila. So as it is, I could just present my data like this to my audience and do whatever I want with it. Okay. So that's how to apply data bus. So you can find it useful depending on your own data set. Stop sharing, stop recording. So the next time we are still continuing on this, we move to color scales. We move to color scales. So move to color scales. So we move on to color scales. Oh. So color scale is like heat map. Color scale is like a heat map. The a color scale is a set of color icons that could divide your data based on colors, maybe into three or more data sets. This will not be showing there. Okay. So if you come here under conditional formatting, you see this is color scales. So basically you have three color scales like this: green, yellow, red color scales. You say apply a color gradient. A color gradient is meaning that the color, one particular color at a time, will be changing according to whether the data is increasing or decreasing. Apply a color gradient to a range of cells. The color indicates where each cell value falls within that range. Okay, so we have three color. These are different color sets. Okay, this is green, white, red color. This is red, white, green color. We have four color series. This is red, white, blue color. That is three color scales. We have just green, white color scale. That's just two color scales. And if you want more, you can come here. So basically, what the color scale does is that it divides your data into three, three, three range, okay, and gives it a color for each range. Maybe if your data is divided into 100% of range, and the first quarter, the first three, or the first 33 will have maybe red, and that red will be going from the highest red to the lowest red, or from the lowest red to the highest red that was made. And then the middle will be from 33 to 67. Maybe it's blue color or whatever color you want to choose. And then the last will be from 67 to 100. That could be green, maybe whatever. So whatever band of color in each band or range of data sets, the color will now move. If it's we are within blue, for instance, if I choose blue as between 33 and 67, that blue will now move. If I have 37, if I have 30, let's say if I have 37, okay, the color would be very blue. maybe, okay, maybe light blue, depending on how I set it. When I now get to maybe 50, 60, or 65, the color will move gradually and become brighter or stronger, right? So that's the color band, like that. So that's what we do with color scales. Color scales runs colors by number. For instance, here, let's clear this and see what we can do here. Before I clear this, see what's actually there. Say manage rules. I've done this before. Edit rules. So what is here is showing, because this data in percentage. So I choose percentage. So I decided to, this was not the preset format. This I reset. So I'll show you how that is done. Okay. I decided to choose maximum value for green, in values in between for this dark green, and then lower values for red. You can see that red grades from bright red to very darker red, then it grades into this dark blue color, and then it grades up, and then it grades to green color, and the green go from darkest to light dark. Okay, so let's go and do that. I clear formatting here, clear rule from selection. So now this is it. Let's just say I want to replicate that. Let's just say you select this data set. You see this data set is showing change in sales from last year. Huh? From in Abuja, in Ibadan, Enugu, Duse, Kogi, and all of that. You see that the place where we have the most prominent marked change is Duse here. Duse, you have from January to February, maybe from December to January, you have 20%, then 35%, and then there's a great drop, right? You can see. So that's the place, it has a great change in what? In percentage of sales. And then when you see this, this has a moderate uh, change in percentage, this Abuja of sales. So the sales is not fluctuating as much. So this kind of data set, we can use color scale to highlight and see how our changes is uh, is behaving. So let's say color scale. Let's choose this one. I always like to choose this one. Okay. So green, white, red. I will change it later. So this is what I have now. What I'll do is I want to modify it. That is a preset icon. So a preset is what is already here that you just come and select without altering anything. But if you want to change it, you go to manage rules. You can see edit rule. So what does the rule say? It's giving me lowest band red. Okay, I think it was doing what I did before. Lowest band, red. You can change it to whatever you like here. Okay. I'm dealing with this a percentage, not percentile. So I do this as a percentage. Highest value. So I could also use percentage here, right? And I can use percentage here as well, right? Because I'm dealing with percentage. Now, when I do that, it changes to 50. I can come here and change to because we have two color bands. I can come here and change to maybe from 0 to 33, from 33 to 100. But I don't want that. Let's leave it at this. So I will rather favor, let's put this as something is wrong. Sorry, let's go back again. So I will rather put this as, okay, lowest value. So lowest value should take red. Lowest value take red. This is percentage, and highest value take green. And use this. Okay, I've not defined this. So the value in between, take, I don't want a so bright color, but something a bit marked different from the red, just how, so that we can see it clearly. Something a bit marked different from red. I don't want to use too much color, but let's use for that for the purpose of this class. You can see now it goes from black, I mean red, and then to this purple color, and then grays to green. And I say okay, and I say apply, and I say okay. I think that is too deep. I don't want that. Let me change this again. Let me change this to maybe yellow. Let's change this to this light yellow. Say okay. I say apply, and then go, and then I say okay. So this is what you have. So you can see that a data that is the highest percentage change is 35. Can you see? Is highlighting 35 as the highest percentage change. And other percentage change that are high, we give them green, but far lighter green. Can you see? Uh, the percentage change that are below zero, you can see, give them all red. So, and the lighter reds are lower, you can see 2%, okay? Unlike 12%, which is a lower in terms of value. But let's say, when you say lower, meaning that this change is more to the negative. That's why it's more red. And this change is less negative. That's why it's a lighter red. Can you see now? And then it moves around yellow. For those that are in between, you can see this is near yellow. Okay, so that's how to use the color icon set. Let's move on. Move on to dates formatting, uh, conditional formatting with dates. Want to look at holidays, for instance. Now, I use this as an example. Like I am, let's clear this. We've done this set. So I'll clear the format. I think I have another conditional formatting here. Let me clear it. We'll get to that. Yeah, clear root from section. Okay. Now, what do I have in this data set? I want to introduce yours to the, sorry, I want to introduce us to a function called Network Days International. Okay. Now, I have this data set. Supposing I'm an HR personnel, and in the month of April through the month of June, I want to know what days we have public holidays so that it is highlighted automatically on my work schedule. This is hours that employees work. Maybe they resume by 8 and they work in the factory, they work till 4 before they go. This is work hour every day from April to June, for instance, 2026. So I want to say, okay, in this place, let me know the days that are holidays so that we know the days that we are not going to be working or in production. So what do we do? First of all, introduce the Network Days International equals to Network Days. It used to be Network Days before, but to make it more dynamic, it has been modified to Network Days International. The difference between Network Days and Network Days International is that Network Days International, as you will see, will give you options to choose when your weekends are. In this part of the world, in Nigeria, for instance, our weekends are Friday, Saturday, and Sundays. In other places, it's Friday and Saturday. In other places, it's even Sunday and Monday. In other countries, so this will give you the option to decide exactly what your weekend days are. Right? Weekend days. We also presume that we are not working on weekend days. So this will be highlighting both weekend days and holidays. Right? So it returns the number of whole days between two dates. So network days actually tells us, okay, between these dates and these days, how many days are there? Or let's use network days international and returns the whole number of days between two dates with custom weekend parameter. You can see with what? Custom weekend parameter, meaning that you can decide what the weekend is by yourself. That's what makes it different from this. So let's have that. So normally, what do? You say this is start date. In this place, these are start dates, right? And then start date. I've selected that. So our end date will be what? This is our end date, right? Okay. And then what's the next data? Now tells us semicolon, right? So it now tells us give us that option to select what weekends do we have. Some will have only Monday as weekend, some will have Sunday only as weekend. But in our own thing, which is the default, is Saturday and Sunday. I could have choose maybe Sunday and Monday, but for the purpose of this class, let's just make it simple. And that's one. So that's the purpose of this. And then I will now, give him the next argument is what? Holidays. Where are my holidays? My holidays are here. I've taken the time to write the holidays within April, public holidays that I know within April. Can you see this is 3rd of April, Good Friday, 6th of April, Easter Monday, okay, Workers' Day, 1st of May, Children's Day, 27th of May, and Democracy Day in Nigeria, 12th of June. Can you see? So I now choose this array as what? As my unlock it. Remember I software as my holidays. So six. So this is what is telling me that in between April 1 and June 30, I have for this I have 60 work days. I have 60 work days. Now, to make this formula achieve what we want to do, we are going to do something unusual. What we are now going to do, instead of returning the end date here, okay, so you can see end date, right? Select it. I would rather change it to this same guy, first day, start date. So start date, right? Mm. So start date. It will mean that when you select the same start date and end dates, then the day before between a start date and end date is what? That is the same. Is what is one. So if we do this, I come down, mean that this data set will only be recruited once. Can you see? I have one. So now I want to cover 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Am I correct? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'll copy this formula. This number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Control R. Sorry. Control R. And then now I needed to because it's relative reference. Can see there's an error there. What am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to take this, allow the row to move, fix the column. That's what I'm supposed to have there. Enter. Now let's say Control R. Can see? And then I can go down. That's what I did. D. Right. So you see, it gives me options of 0 and 1. What is he saying? These zeros are holidays or weekends. I mean, these ones, zeros will be working days. Let's see. For instance, according to this is April 1, right? April 2. Let's come on here, see date here. If you look at this, trying to let my command. April, okay? April 1 is Wednesday. April 2 is Thursday, right? Hmm. So you can see that April 1 and April 2, they are work days, right? And April 3, April 4, okay? April 3 is, let's see what April 3 is here. April 3 is a work day, but because it's an holiday, it returns 0. Saturday, April 4, it's a weekend, it returns 0. Okay? April 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. April 5 is what? Sunday, it returns 0. Okay? April 6 returns 1. 1. April 6, when you see April 6 here, April 6 is Monday, right? It should be work day, but it return 1. Why? Because it was an holiday, Easter Monday. Can you see that? So it means that this is working perfectly. So I can decide to format this. Now, let's say if you become 1, give me 2, meaning work days. But remember that it's the holidays that I want to do it. It's the holiday I want to come true. I want the holidays to come true, not the working days. So the working days return 1, right? But if I want you to return 0, I want 0 to be the true, which is the holidays. So I will change this formula. Instead of equals to 1, I'll change it to equals to 0. Okay? So you say first, because this is what? 1. Okay? It's not equals to 0. Control R. So, so you see, all those places where it comes true will now be holidays or weekend days. Can see. Let's go here once again because we don't have time. You can see this is April 3 holiday, April 4 holiday. Right? April 5, weekend, Sunday. I think April 6, holiday. April 7, let's look at April 7. Yeah. What do you have? April 7, you can see Tuesday, which is a work day. Can you see? So that April 7 is false. Okay, because we want to highlight what? Only, I mean, work days. Yeah, we want to highlight only holidays. So this, everywhere it comes through here, is either a holiday or a weekend day. So we can now copy this formula in the edit mode. Okay, copy, escape, go to your, and then select where you want to format. Always remember to do that. I cannot use Ctrl Shift down because why? Because there are no data inside it. We just go down. Okay, we're selected. I come here, say conditional formatting. What do I want? I want new rules with formula. Okay, right. And then let's put our format. I don't want maybe holidays. Let me put light red. Okay, let me put light red and say okay and say okay. Voila. And I can see that these are what? Holidays. So then what I can also do interestingly, just with my ability to think, is that okay, out of these holidays, format, I have this, these are both holidays and weekends. I want to know which ones are actually holidays. I can come here and select my holiday array and come here and select the date itself. Okay, so and then I say you look for duplicates. Is that not it? Hmm? I like to duplicates. So I can give that the color. So those ones that I give, okay, let's maintain that color. The color default here, I could have changed it, but I think that's okay. I can change the color here to whatever I like, light red. Okay, light red with something. Okay, it's okay. I say okay. So what is telling me is that I can see it clearly, this one or out of this that are weekend days or holidays. I can see exactly what are holidays. These are weekend days, okay, weekend days, holiday. Can you see? Weekend days. Voila. So this will be very useful for me. Maybe I keep attendance or I supervise people at work. You can see. Good. Holiday, May 27. Can you see that? So just be brilliant with be able to think out what you want to do, and then you are there. You can see June 12th. Huh? Holiday. June 12th, holiday. Other weekend day. All these ones are work days. And of course, I can take out this and everything is still working. Then I take out this and everything is still working. Good. So that's about using the net international day formula, network day international. Okay, let's talk about this. Want to use this to teach about inventory management, not in the list, a sort of not in the list. What is the rule saying? This item, we have here a master list of what we are selling. For instance, this is a master list of what you are selling. I got this from Google. I just typed, let's have a list of what a typical supermarket sells in Lagos, right? So I got this list. So these are my master list of inventories that I must have at all time. Now, this is my stock at hand, right? This is my stock at hand. So in this stock at hand, if I am out of any stock, then I will create a conditional formatting that any stock that is not here, flag it here so that I can quickly know that stock yìí ó ti tán o, ẹ lọ order fún. You get it? So that's what I want to use this for. And we are going to use the match function to do that. Match function to do that. So let's see how it goes. I'll clear the rules. I've written the rules, so I'm going to clear it. So I clear the rules. So this is my master list. In any case, it is possible that if you are managing this, it's possible for you to hide this and leave this alone, but can put them together. It's all up to you. So what do we have? This is the rule. You may let's start it all over again. Okay, let's start it all over again. I say equals to match function. Remember what the match function does? Just give you the relative position of a data in a range. Like in this place now, if I say this place, in this range, in this whole range of data like this, right? What's the position of, okay, what's the position of peak? Position of peak is on what? 3, right? Peak make. Position of king vegetable is on what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. On 6. That's exactly what match function gives you to do. Say match. So what do you want to match? Okay, let's retake it. So you say equals to match function. Okay. Lookup value should be on the master list. This value in the master list, this item in the master list, rather. Okay. Lookup array, is it still in our inventory? If yes, return exact match. Let's see. Exact match. Enter. Okay, this I always forget. See, I always use comma because I'm used to comma. Most formula arguments use comma, but because I'm using Office 365, that's why it's semicolon. So mindful of that. In your own, it could be comma, could be that. I see. You can see here week is saying here week is in position 29. It's available on position 29. Let's for instance checkers custard number 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Can you see checkers custard vanilla different from checkers custard breakers and all that? So this is what we have. Okay, so it gives the relative position of each item in the list. So if an item is not in this list now, maybe we have exhausted Gino, let's delete, and we have exhausted this. Okay, let's say okay, I want item area detergent. Let's say we have exhausted it. Okay, let's leave it at just 3. Let's say we have exhausted picnic, right? Now, look at this formula. I say not available, not available. So I want this not available. These are the things I want to highlight that, okay, this item more Osimbi by more is no longer here. We have exhausted our stock. Oh, let's go and load. And when it is not available here, I need to color it maybe red or something and flag it so that you can see that this item in the master list is no longer available in our inventory. Can you see? So that's why I will now wrap this formula, okay, with is not available function. Is not available. That is ESNA. Can you see? Oh, it's not available. Okay. So I wrap it and down. So false meaning that it's available, right? Hmm? So instead of using position now it's not available. Now when it's available, say it's true that it's not available. So it's true that this item is no longer available. Uh, let's say we have true again. Ketchup is true that it's not available. Honeywell is true that it's not available. So last, let's now copy the formula and use it to format. So you say copy. Remember you copy in the edit mode. So let's copy. Copy. Go to escape and then select the master list. All right. Then conditional formatting, rules, new rules, use formula, paste. And now this time let's select red. Okay. For an item and that's for fill. Let's also do font. Let's the font be white. So font color. Okay. Font color. Let's say white. Okay. And then say okay. You see, this is what you have. I say okay. And voila. So we can now pretend that this is not there. So what we now have? We now have items in our master list that what that have been exhausted in our stocks. And one of the beautiful things you can also do in now this case is that you can decide to select this beforehand and apply another conditional formatting. What are called conditional formatting? Okay, sorting. Okay, let's say I want to sort. Say custom sort. So what am I sorting? I'm sorting this I'm sorting column here. If I say my data as header, it will choose master inventory master list. Okay, and then what I want to sort by what? By colors, cell colors. I can use cell colors of one color. So what do I say? This color, yellow, let it be at the top. If I want it to be at the bottom, at the bottom. Default is top. I say okay. Voila. So it brings to me every item. Well, that's what? That is out of stock to the front to the top immediately. For instance, if I come here and bring this item here, having biscuits, any of the items that we deleted before, milk, for instance, let's bring back milk. Let's bring back milk. I want to, okay, let's say Dano powder milk. Let me just put it there. It will be available. Okay. Now, if I delete here biscuit, look at it too. Look at it too. If I delete here biscuit, right? And I come here and choose them. Okay, I'm just going up. I can resort. Here biscuit, can you see? And I can definitely resort, can you see? So this is how you can monitor your stock item, where your stock out using what? The match function. So not in the list. Maybe this item is no longer in my list. I need to work on it or I need to restock. So We are going to the last section. We are going to teach you about sales rules, how to apply multiple conditional formatting to a cell. What we have been doing so far is applying a particular conditional formatting to a single cell or a range. Now, it's possible that you will need to apply more than one conditional formatting to a data set. And then the rules is that you apply multiple rules to the same cell. For instance, when applying three color icon set to a set of sales value, here I have a set of sales value where I have customers and the amount of what we sold they bought from us. The first rule we apply first before the second rule, then the third rule. So if you are applying several conditional formatting, maybe after you have applied color set rules, you now apply a custom rule as to anything. Now, the first rule we apply, when that rule is not triggered, when it's not met, then it will go to the next rule. It will look at it. When the next rule is not met, then it will apply the third rule. Now, so if you say the first top rule we apply first before the second, the third, etc. If you want the rule, if you want the rule to be applied immediately, the first condition is met. If you have a set of conditional formatting on a cell, but you want that immediately the first condition is met or is triggered, just apply that rule and stop from looking down other rules, maybe rule 2, rule 3, rule 4 as may be. Then you use the stop if true option on the on the on the rules manager. Okay, I will go there, we'll see it. Checking the stop if true for a rule stops further rules from being applied. Okay, stop other rules from what? From being applied. Once that condition of that first rule is met, is or triggered, then the tick the stop if true option button. So checking the stop if true for a rule will stop further rules from being applied once the check rule is what is met or triggered. Without the stop if true being checked or applied, multiple rules can apply on the same cell, and that can cause overlapping of rules and sometimes confusion. So let's go here and see an example of what we are talking about. So first, this data item is data set, I think it's about 30 customers. So I'm going to remove the formatting that I've done here. But before I remove it, let's see what is there. Let's say, I've already written it, but say edit rules. Now, when you come here, so this is the rule that is currently being applied. I don't know, I should have, aha. Now, there are two rules here. Look at this conditional rule formatting rule manager. You are used to this. You can see now there are two rules that are being applied here. I'm going to do it from scratch, right? But I just want you to be familiar with this manager interface. Okay, you can say the first rule is this at the top, the second rule is this one at the bottom. You can use this to move the position of rule to determine who becomes first or who becomes second. You can see the icon set that become the first rule. So if I have two rules on these cells, I have the rules that use icon cell to arrange this data, so that maybe data that are above uh, certain amount, you put them below certain amount, you put them red. Those that are above 100, you put them green. Those that are in between, you put them another color, right? That rule will apply. One, if it has checked for that rule
and no more rule is applying to that, then it will go to the next rule, which is the rule that say, okay, oh, between items between 2000 and 99, format them for me, right? So you change the order of the rule, yeah, as it is. So what you are saying is that the first rule we apply, the first rule on the top we apply first before the second one. So which one you want to apply, you must make sure first, must make sure it be the one at the top. Now, this is the stop if true example. So what I'm saying is that if this rule has applied immediately, stop. If you are able to look at this my data set and you already know that this rule that a number is between 20,000 and 99,000 is there, okay, apply it, format it according to whatever condition I give it. This is my format. The condition I give it is don't even put okay. Now you stop immediately. But if it's not, then come to this place. So default, by default, this will be like this. So if you want to a rule to be applied, you click it, it won't. It's always applicable to the top rules. If you have more than 3 rules, the first 2 rules will be applied. Okay, so if I move this one now, you can see that it can apply here. If I click this one now, it should, it's not, because it's the default, it's not applying. Okay, so let's go there. Let me clear the rules. So I can delete rules, the same thing as clear room. Okay, I delete this one too. Okay, say apply and apply. So now let's come up. If I look at this, my data set, it's very simple. I made it simple. I have data set of values that are below 20, above 100, and in between. So these are the sales value that I have for a particular customer. So let's apply the first rule. We apply the 3 icon set. Okay. So let's say conditional formatting, color scale, icon set. Let's just take this, okay, and apply. You can see if you try to interpret it, you will see that items that are, let's see what is that preset icon. Let's see what is written there. Come to manage rules. Okay, this is what is there. Edit rules. What is saying? So I'm using this icon set, show icon only. If I want it to show icon only and hide the amount, I can do that. So what it's saying is that when value is greater than 67, eh, use what? Use what? Use green. But here it say percentage. I can change this to number because I'm actually dealing with number. So there is the preset, but I can now customize it. See what I'm doing now is customizing it. So anything that is greater than, well, it said apply, then it's now then there. If I say number here again, number, I don't know when value is greater than 0, apply green. When value is less than 0, okay, apply yellow. When value is less than 0, apply red. So when value is 0, here you just choose greater than 0. I think I have something for that. Greater than 0. Second route to when lesser than 0 and greater than 0. This will only return 0. So this will only return 0. And this, if I say OK, and I say apply. No, that is not correct. That's not correct. Okay, let's just leave it as this. Let's leave it as percentage as default. Okay, leave it as default. I don't know why it's using percent. And leave it as default. So this is what is there on default. Say any value that is lesser than 33, format it red. In between 33 and 67, format it green. Okay, I don't know whether we can change. You can change the color set icon. I want it to be different, so let me change it to. It's using yellow, right? So let me change it to maybe this one. Okay, okay, so that we can see it distinctly. Oh, great. Which other color should I use? I think it's okay. Just for the purpose of the, I just wondering, for the purpose of this, let me just take this, okay, so that you will see it distinctly. And I say okay, and I say apply, and I say okay. So you see, by that I've customized that icon set. So you can see that anything is not correct now. These are value CS. So anything greater than 70 or less than 100 or less than or equals to 1,000 or 100,000 will be formatted as, yes, can you see that? It's formatted as that, formatted like that. Anything below 33 is formatted as red, and anything above 100,000 is formatted as this. So let me do one thing more. If I want to include manage rules, edit rules, so 67 greater than that, okay. Now let's now take another rule. All right, we now apply another rule. Okay, let's now apply another rule to the same set of data set that contains rule. And let's go here, select again. You say conditional formatting, new rules. So format cells that contains what? Cells that contains, okay, let's say between 20,000, 1, 2, 3, and 99,000. 1, 2, 3. Why I choose 99,000 is because if I choose 100, okay, I want to include 100. That's why I choose 99,000. If I choose 100,000, it will now highlight 100,000 as part of it. So this is the second rule I want to apply now. So this second rule I want to apply, if it applies, what format do I want? Just leave it blank. Okay. So I say okay. Let's manage the rules. This is the rule, the first rule. I say edit rule. Okay. 20,000. Am I correct? So 99,000. No numbers format. Okay. Right. Now, so you see, Tapia is not working, right? So what do? We now move that rule to the top. It's at the top now. So it will now apply. If I say apply now, can you see what happened immediately? Hmm? Immediately, it just highlights only cells that are lower than 20,000 and cells that are what? Greater than 100,000. So it's now taking this rule as the precedent rule, right? So this is how to apply multiple formatting and in a way that it's not overlapping. So you use the stop if true for the rule you want to prevail at the top. Okay. So this is the rule of layering for multiple conditional formatting. So here is the end of the class for conditional formatting. I think we have had up to almost over 3 hours of conditional formatting. So far, so good. We have learned all this. We have looked at what conditional formatting is. That means we want to make a data or an item look in a certain way if a condition comes true. We have looked at formatting cells that contain a particular number or item or text. We can use how to write formulas with cell referencing to do conditional formatting. So you remember your cell referencing, it means that you have to master cell referencing. The rule manager and how to use the rule manager. We are using it along. We didn't even have a direct focus on this, but you have seen it being used. How to format a row of a data set. That means format an entire row instead of formatting one single cell or a number of cells. How to format a whole row, how to format a whole data column, how to use the or and the and function, how to use the match function as an alternating function to the or function, how to remove duplicate, highlight duplicate. Maybe when you are doing invoicing, you don't want your invoice to be duplicated. The top end rules, maybe you want to highlight the top 5, the top 10, the top bottom numbers of a set of data. You use data bars, icon set, color scales, banded rows using the mod function and the rule function. Maybe you want to format as maybe every three rows, you want a particular format to be applied. Every two rows, you want a particular format to apply. That's banded row. We have talked about date formatting using due date invoice example. So here, what do we do? To format dates. Okay, I think I remember that now. Let me see what we have done. Date due, for instance. Okay, I said I have this aging list of invoices that a customer X YZ is showing, right? And how many of these customers, okay, how many of these invoices are above 30 days? I say highlight it with a rule. Okay, so the date here is simply remember the date the invoice was made and the current date, which is probably today. Okay, I think yeah, today. So this is number not at 78 days. So when you look at this, you go down, blah 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 blah, and then you see that any item that is in this case they are more than 38 days, okay, because today they are all overdue. If it's not all overdue, the last time I did it was not overdue. Okay, maybe I should just not use a dynamic function. Let's say today is 7. Oh, to, let's say today is 5. 05 04 2026. Enter. Okay. For instance, now, if you look at this, right? Okay, 31 days. I want, okay, still, let's say 1. Let's believe it's April 1. Let's say 1. Okay, let's say 1 so that we have some that are not captured. Okay. Okay, you can see. So the total of this, so say I've written a formula to say, okay, the total of these amounts that are 30 days and above, how much are they? Okay, it gives me what? 88,848,511, which is what I have here, and which is also what I've written in the formula here using summary. Okay, so you can use conditional formatting to say, okay, highlight those dates where the invoice are over or more than or equal to 30 days. So that's what we have done with date formatting. And we also introduce on date, we also introduce the network days international for us as maybe as an HR personnel to manage calendar, to manage work days and holidays and all that. And then not in the needs, maybe uh you are working with let's look at it, rule manager, new rules, so that contains, okay, so maybe we are managing an inventory and you want to know, okay, which item is still available on the inventory, which item has been exhausted. So you can use the match function to do that together with the is not available function, which we just demonstrated. And then we also talk about layering rules, meaning that if you have more than one rules applying on a cell or the number of range, and how to use the stop if true to decide which rule to apply that will prevail. That if this rule is triggered first, then stop checking for other rules. So this is basically all that we have done for conditional formatting. I believe we have gotten a lot of value for this. And one thing about this is that you have to think dynamically. It is not everything here that you will know how to do, okay? But you will, in your own way, in your own role in your office, you will find one of these things come in handy and useful for you. So think around it, think about your job, and look at any of these ones, whichever is applicable to you. Maybe you need to be using them day by day. And I also encourage you to practice this. So, because when you practice, then it will give you time to be able to master them and continue to use them. Thank you for watching. And if you get value for this, kindly subscribe to our channel, this data, this data consult, and share and like. See you in the next video. Thanks.